I would share one experience first, and this experience really inspired me. And I was just thinking, Baba always tells us the importance of sharing knowledge with everyone. But I don't know if we realize how important it is for everyone to receive this knowledge. And if we realize that, then we would be doing a lot more, making a lot more effort than we are making. And I remember there was this one lady, and she had come, and her husband had abandoned her some years back, and her parents are no more, so she has no parents, no husband, and she had only one child, 11-year-old child, and he was killed. So when she came to the center, so she wasn't crying, she had already cried a lot, and but she came across as very strong. And we were having this conversation, and she said that I don't know, I'm not very evolved, or I don't have too much knowledge, but I have dealt with my life in my own way, and whatever occurred to me, whatever made sense to me at different points of time, I have done that. And she said that when my husband abandoned us, so I thought that death can come anytime. So I thought that I should prepare my child for death, at least my death, that if I die someday, that then he has to survive. So I always used to tell him that death is not the end of the world, and even if mama dies, she will be there somewhere helping you, and you don't worry, everything will be taken care of. There is God, and God takes care of everything. And she said that I, not very often, but sometimes off and on, I used to talk to him in a manner that he realized that death is a reality, and death is not something bad or good, it is just what it is. And she said, I don't even know how I felt like sharing it with him, but when he died and I was not there, he was killed. So then when I came back, so I saw everything, and the first thought I thought was about what he would be thinking in his last moments. And then I felt really, there was this one thing in the back of my mind, that at least he knew that death is a reality, and he wouldn't be very shocked or surprised. At least that's what I thought, that would be the thought of my child. And although nobody can really describe the pain, so I'm not saying that there is less pain because of that or something, but at least I have this one assurance. And she said that maybe if I had more gyan, I would have given him, and maybe that would have helped him in his last time more. So you see that this was such a beautiful sharing, that I felt that it's so important for everyone to recognize that we are souls. And knowing for myself that I am a soul, and come what may, even if I lose this body, or there is people are so attached to everything. It's not just the body, it's the name, the fame, the relationships, the body, everything things, positions, labels. People are so attached to everything, and it is very important to know that all that is transient. And even if on this journey we lose something, even if it's this body or something that I have, or some relationship, or there is a name and fame that I earned and then you suddenly lose it, or suddenly people change their perception about you, or whatever it is, you still matter, you still exist, and you still have a journey ahead. So, I'm a eternal soul, and nothing is the end of the journey. So, I have, my journey is eternal. And knowing that, I'm not even talking about knowing yourself as a deity soul, or that is another thing, that big thing that Baba tells us, but even knowing about your eternity, and knowing that come what may, whatever comes your way, still you survive after that, you exist, you matter, and you can build what is lost. So even if this body is lost, you get another body. So this is something that we must know. And it is very beautiful about this whole system of the world, this the way this world works, and the way drama is designed. It is very beautiful that you lose one thing, you gain another. So it's always like this. But if you're attached to what you lost, sometimes you don't appreciate what you gained. So it's not like, so change is a very constant phenomena of the world, and it's not like you lose something and nothing replaces it. Something or the other replaces it. Yes, so if you just detach yourself from whatever is not there and looked at what is there, then you could feel the same, be the same, or you could still make the same effort that you were making. So Baba, this particular knowledge, the knowledge of the soul, is very, very important, that I am a soul, and second by second I continue on this journey, and despite whatever is left behind, you have to move forward and take care of what is with you. So this is something. And if you just keep looking back, it's very difficult. But if you know you are a soul, then you begin to, and you learn to look forward. So this is something. And Baba today says that you have to earn an income and teach everyone how to earn an income. And when we talk about spiritual income, so just tell me, how do you know that anybody you meet on the street or anybody you see has a lot of income? How do you know their bank balance? You cannot peep into their bank account, but from their happiness you know their bank balance. Yes, from their happiness, from their confidence, from the way they dress. So at least externally, so if they are laughing too much, if they are dressed well, if they are outwardly confident, although sometimes when you scratch the surface, something else comes out, but outer experiences, outer appearances, they tell you that somebody has a lot of wealth. Similarly, if you are very spiritually wealthy, then your stock of happiness and peace and self-worth, which is in the core, so very your core is very full. It's not an external happiness. So you're constantly happy, constantly peaceful, constantly blissful. So that's the kind of kind of stage you are in. But right now, if we look at ourselves and most people in the world, that's not the condition. So we are not in a good bank balance when it comes to spiritual income. And do you understand that when you don't have enough bank balance and then there is a loan, so then what happens is, or there is somebody who has come to ask you for something, and then it's very difficult for you to give it to them because you don't have enough. So Baba says that similarly, when you are less in your spiritual income, then whatever karmic settlements are coming, what do karmic settlements do? They take something and go, right? So they just it's a loan you have to pay. So maybe somebody will just bruise your ruffle your ego, or just stab your ego, or somebody will just take away all your credit, and somebody will just tell you that you're a nobody, or somebody will take away some wealth or something. But Baba says when a karmic account comes, then they will take whatever they have to take and then they leave. But the thing is, if you're not rich enough from inside, then you start wailing and crying because they are taking some of what you have, right? So and then you start fretting about it, frowning about it, and then you start complaining about it, getting sad and heartbroken about it. So Baba says that it is very important for you to think about and devise methods to be profitable yourself and benefit others also. And Baba says the only two methods of earning a spiritual income are remembrance and seva. Remembrance and seva, right? So these are the two methods through which you can change from spiritually depleted to spiritually profitable. So it is remembrance and seva. And if I asked you, do you think that you are paying attention to remembrance and seva enough to be profitable? So do you understand? Do you know accounts? Baba today says that this knowledge is good for businessmen. So you know what a businessman does? A businessman is very good at keeping accounts, and a businessman knows. So when you run a business, it is the most important thing is you understand credit and debit. So if you don't understand credit and debit, then you cannot run a business. You may be very good with the work you do, the product you sell, but if you don't know credit and debit, then you will always be at loss. So you will not earn a profit. So Baba says, do you understand this credit and debit when it comes to spiritual income? And do you understand how much of debit are you in? And how much it would take to turn that debit into credit? So every day Baba says that 63 births of karmic accounts and loans you have. But do we understand that it is 63 births of karmic accounts that we have on our heads? Because what happens is, let's say you use a debit card, and then you are swiping the debit card and paying money, and you think that you have a lot of money, but you don't realize it until the bank balance becomes zero. Yes, so you're always swiping it, and until there is money, you don't realize that you could go bankrupt also. Similarly, what happens is, when we are in this life, we think that okay, chal to raha hai na, so we are surviving anyway, things are fine. Okay, yesterday I was not able to pull myself from the bed, but today with the help of a pill I can do that, so things are better. So people are just don't realize how much of spiritual debt they are in, and what is the capacity of the soul. Today, it takes so much effort to create constant thoughts of knowledge, peace, love on your own. Yes, so if you are just trying to create constant thoughts, I remember there was this one session in which new souls had come who had not been initiated into knowledge, and I did a meditation where you had to send waves of love to the world, and you had to open your heart and send waves of love to the whole world. And in that whole group, nobody could do it, because it's so difficult to even create thoughts of sending waves of love to the world. So these days it's becoming increasingly difficult. And Baba says, from that condition, where do you have to go? Do you understand the aim? Because a businessman also knows how much profit they are intending to make. So Baba says, from that condition, you want to be in a condition where you are ever healthy, ever wealthy, ever prosperous, ever happy. Yes, so Satyugi condition. And Baba says there are only two methods through which you earn an income, that is remembrance and seva. So are you remembering Baba enough, and are you doing enough seva? Yes, enough seva to turn that debit into credit. So are you that kind of a good businessman, or are you running losses and thinking you're profitable? So that's that kind of calculation you need to know. So Baba says that it is very important to understand this mathematics, and then this accounts, and then also devise methods through which you can do seva and remembrance. So let's say, what is the method? How do you devise methods to do seva and remember Baba? So you see that you cannot do anything without a plan, right? If you have not planned for it, how can you do it? So seva is done primarily in three forms: the service through the body, the mind, and wealth. And let me tell you, even when we live in the center, we have to consciously think about seva. If we don't plan for seva, then even while living in the center, maybe you're not doing anything, right? So when we live in the center, we think about this seva through the body. So how do I serve through the body? So through the mouth I share knowledge. Through the body, we take out special time during the day. We allocate that time, that this time is for cleaning or cooking or something, and then we do that seva at that time. And then there is this mind, seva of the mind. So you have to sit and draw energy from Baba and serve the world for some time. And how do you do that? Just sit, draw energy and serve? No. First, when you sit, you have to, for half an hour at least, you meditate for yourself. How do you give from an empty utensil? Can you give from something that is empty? No. So, when you have to do Mansa Seva, you must know that the beginning of Mansa Seva is just sitting in good remembrance of Baba. And when you feel peaceful, loveful, joyful, then the next step is you think of yourself as an instrument who is channelizing this energy of Baba to the world. You cannot be an empty instrument channelizing everything and not filling yourself. So, first fill yourself for half an hour, and the next half an hour you radiate energy. So, that's how you do Mansa Seva. So, do you do some Tan Seva, some Mansa Seva? Or so let's say you live in a household. So what is your Tan Seva? So you are not coming to the center, or you're not attending classes in the center. You can't participate in the Seva in the center. Okay, no problem. But when Baba has devised this method, so there must be some other method to do Seva also, right? So Baba says, then what do you do in the household? So let's say you're a mother and there are children. So you look at them as souls, and then you cook in Baba's remembrance and feed them. Or if there is an opportunity, there are guests coming, you cook in Baba's remembrance and feed them. You keep the place clean, not thinking that this is my place, but this is Baba's home, and anybody who comes should feel Baba's presence and vibrations here. So that's the kind of Mansa, that's the kind of physical Seva you do, Mansa Seva you do. And then there is the third thing, which is Seva through money. So, when we live in the center and if we don't have an income of our own, we do this Seva of saving Baba's money. So, whenever there is a toli to be made or something to be made, we ensure that it is done at minimum cost and maximum, benefit. So, or we save electricity, we save this stuff. So, this is the Seva we do in the center, because whatever we save is put to Baba's Seva. But when you are living in the household, how do you do Seva? Through wealth. So Baba says, keep saving. So, something or the other, you must keep saving for Baba. Just like, whatever you get, even if you are a woman taking care of the family and you get some money to buy groceries or vegetables or something, keep saving out of it. And then that Seva you send to the center. So Baba says, these are methods to do Seva through the body, mind and wealth. And then there is Seva through the body takes place also when you share knowledge with others. Yes, or just by, and Baba says, Karmana Seva includes Seva through contact. So, when you make contact with any soul, and then through the way you are or what you speak to them or how you interact with them, if you are able to make them feel Baba's presence, make them have a glimpse of Baba's knowledge or love or purity, so that is also Karmana Seva, that also counts as Seva through the body. So whenever you come in contact with souls, even if there is somebody visiting your place just to ask for an address for 1 second, so in that 1 second also you make the contact of drishti, you're talking to them, then in your loveful, peaceful state, you're giving them some solace. So Baba says this is also Seva, but you have to keep this in your awareness. And keep this, that you have to have this intention that I want to be in constant Seva. And then remembrance. So you see that while you remember, when you pay attention to accumulating an account of remembrance, then first thing is the foundation of Amrit Vela. So if you're sleeping in Amrit Vela, then no foundation for remembrance, and then how can you remember Baba? So getting up at Amrit Vela and laying the foundation of this deep connection with Baba, where you draw in the light and love of Baba in your heart, this is the method to pay attention to remembrance. And with that foundation intact, you have to devise some methods to make yourself and everybody stay in remembrance. So, just like you're doing seva to benefit everybody, similarly, devise a method to remember Baba through which others also benefit. For example, when you're cooking, play some music, play Baba's songs or play Baba's music. And that is very important, because if you are not if you're not paying attention to some method, then you will not realize that your mind is going here and there and not remembering Baba. Or if you're talking, if you're talking to somebody, then take up a topic and try to have this intention to take this topic to driving a point of knowledge, and not like forcefully or something, but very gently making a point that you are talking and you are driving that point. And Baba says, in everything you do, even when you are taking a bath, know that I am a soul cleaning this body, because this body is Baba's instrument. So some attitude, something that you hold in your awareness will help you to be in Baba's remembrance when you are working through the day, or when you are interacting with souls. Having soul conscious drishti will help you be in remembrance of Baba and serve them through the day. So Baba says, devise methods to stay in constant remembrance and stay in constant seva, because these are the only two methods to earn an income. And it is very necessary for us to go profitable now. Yes, because if we don't earn enough income, then what happens is suddenly things happen. And just like I told you, suddenly you swipe and there is no money in your account. Similarly, suddenly something happens these days, and then you realize that you don't have the enough peace or enough perseverance or enough strength inside you to just go on. So, do you understand that these days people commit suicide? And when a person commits suicide, it means that it is very difficult to go on from one day to the other, and you don't have enough strength to go on from one day to the other, and that's when a person commits suicide. So Baba says that we don't want to run on empty. We want to be, when a situation comes, it's like that situation is swiping the debit card, and then you must have enough bank balance, you must have enough strength, enough love, enough peace, enough happiness in your heart to stay happy and clear the situation, to stay happy and clear the karmic account. So Baba says that for that you have to pay a lot of attention to remembrance and seva, because if a situation comes and I'm not profitable at that time, then I might collapse in that situation. And then the second thing is, this is just break even. So loans are coming and you're not collapsing, but then we also have to be in a place where we earn enough credit, do so much of punya karma and make ourselves so virtuous and full within that we are able to find a place in Satyug when the time comes. So Baba says, pay a lot of attention to be profitable, be a good businessman, have this buddhi to calculate debit and credit, and also help others realize that you are a soul and make them remember Baba. And I remember, there's this one brother, he came for the course, and he is a very, so he's an intellectual, so he's into this big company doing intellectual work and all. So when he came to Baba, I thought, that it will be difficult for him to understand Baba, because he came across as very strong and very, not sensitive at all. So he came across like that. So I thought maybe he will not connect to Baba or something, but okay, let me just remember Baba and give him the course. So when I gave him the course, then and we were meditating, and it was a meditation in which I was giving the commentary that Baba is the ocean of love, and you feel Baba's presence and Baba's love for yourself. And then, he started crying, so there were tears coming out of his eyes. And then I asked him after the meditation, I saw you had tears in your eyes. So he said, my father died when I was very little, and I never felt the presence of, someone bigger than me, someone who protects me, or someone who is there for me. So I was the one always there for everybody. So I was there for my siblings earlier, and then I got married, and now I have a family. So I was the one always there for them, but I never felt that there is someone there for me. And today when I remembered Baba, and he said Baba, he didn't even say God or something. He said, today when I remembered Baba, and when I was sitting through this commentary, I felt like, if my father had been here, he would have, made me feel like this. But, this is better than the father. But I felt that love in that presence. So you see that sometimes we don't understand that it's very important. Every soul is looking for this love, this sustenance, this guidance. So do you understand that we receive everyday guidance, everyday love, everyday sustenance from Baba, because somebody made the effort to bring us to this realization that God has come and He is reading the Murli for us. Yes. So somebody made us come to this place. That's why we are now taking sustenance from Baba. So we also need to make this effort for someone else, that they also start understanding that Baba has come and we need to take sustenance from Baba. And I remember there's this one girl, and her leg has some problem. So she has this bone which is swollen and it's coming out of the sides, and she has this peculiar condition of the leg, and it's very difficult for her to walk and wear shoes and everything. But she came to the center in that condition, and she said that I want to do the course. So I said okay, and she said I want to start today, I don't want to delay. So I said okay. So I said, but why are you so in a hurry? So what is it? Tell me the background. So she told me, I have a Masi, I have a maternal aunt, and she always keeps telling me, she's a BK, and she says whenever I share anything with her, she will just tell me, please go to the center, please take the course, please go to the center. And I never listened to her. And then she said, now she is in the hospital, she has some surgery, and when I went to see her, she was in so much pain, and then she said, everybody leave the room, and then she told me, did you go to the center? So I felt, I felt like, if a person can tell me in the midst of so much pain, if she could tell me that it's important for you to go to the center, then it must be really important. So she said, I don't know what happened in that moment. I said, okay, I'm going to the center now. And then she came and she said that, I felt like, if somebody is, and she loves me a lot, and she said that I felt that strong pull that there is some reason, there is some secret why she wants me to be in the center. And when she came, she took the course of the soul. Then she said, I'm already feeling much better because I have multiple issues. It's not just the leg, it's my head more than my leg. And then she said, I'm already feeling better, and I don't know who to thank, you, God, or my Masi, but I thank all the three. And she left, and then she said, I'll come tomorrow. So you see that when we love Baba, and sometimes just with that love for Baba in your heart, when you tell somebody repeatedly that just go and do the course, so maybe not today, not tomorrow, but someday they will do it. And so Baba says that you keep making this effort. It is so important. Although people don't realize it until they get it, but it is very important for every soul to recognize their father and take the love and sustenance and guidance from their father. Okay, Om Shanti.